All the time we spent, wonder where it went. Why must time move on?
Yes, sir. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Final Picture Show podcast, episode 61. We are here to talk about Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, it's such a great name.
It is a great name, yes. The fourth in the Planet of the Apes series, coming out on 1972, June 30th, 1972, which is an interesting year. It's an interesting, specifically an interesting couple of days, because we've actually talked about this, almost this exact same time period before. We talked about Beware the Blob, which came out on June 21st, 1972.
Oh.
Yeah, so 9 days before that, Beware the Blob came out, which was another movie from the 1970s, which had a similar budget, as we'll talk about when we get to the budget of this movie, but was not nearly as successful. And for those loyal listeners, you'll notice that we just actually visited 1972 in the bonus episode for episode 60. So there you go, for something completely different. So hanging around 72 we are a little bit this year.
That's right.
All right, so the director and writer are two people we've actually talked about before. The writer is the same writer as all the rest of them, other than the first one. So the first one obviously had Rod Serling. After that, they've all been the same guy, which is Paul Dean. So same guy here. No reason to talk about him again.
Yeah.
And the director is actually a man we talked about as well, J. Lee Thompson. He was the guy that the studio 20th Century Fox initially wanted, and Heston said no. He wanted his own guy, and so they didn't get him for the first one, the second one, the third one, but he's here now, and he will, I believe, also do the fifth one as well.
Hey.
So we've talked about him as well when we talked about the first movie. So similar to our Mad Max series, kind of a lot of shameless plugging that we're doing here. But hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
All right. Next up is the cast, which is full of some people we've talked about before. And some new people. The people we've talked about before is obviously Roddy McDowall, like we talked about. He's going to show up again and again in all of these movies. Yeah. He's now taking on a different role.
Oh.
He's no longer Cornelius. He's now Caesar, the son of Cornelius, who was not named Milo. He's named Caesar now. And all that stuff about Aldo being the first ape to say no, just fucking forget all that shit. None of that happened. Fuck all that. We'll get to that. Next up is...
Apparently we will get to that. It's just more in the 2000s.
Exactly. Well, eventually we'll solve that. We'll solve that riddle. Yeah. We'll square that hole in the 2000s, and it'll involve James Franco.
As most things do, apparently.
As most things do. All roads return to the Franco of James. We also got Ricardo Montalban returning again in the same role as the last time we saw him. And
probably the best human in the Apes universe, or at least in this timeline.
I would say so. Yeah. Natalie Trundy is returning now as Lisa, her first time donning any of the ape costumes. Previously, she would just played a human in every single version, but here she is now, changing it up a little bit. We also got some new people. First up is Don Murray, who plays the governor, and Don Murray... The governor. He's been in 93 movies, which is a lot. He's also a writer, producer, director of several things. Did some soundtrack work as well. Has appeared in a lot of things, including 8 episodes of the Twin Peaks revamp that they did in 2017.
Ooh.
He's also in a couple episodes of ABC After School Specials, one episode of Wings, several other things. Like, his career kind of goes on and on for a while. Goes into TJ Hooker for one episode. There's another classic. Awesome. Yeah. And it goes all the way back to, I'm trying to scroll to see where his first credit goes to.
Oh.
How far back do you go, my dude? The 1950s, yeah. So he had quite the career. One of his original credits was Bus Stop and From Hell to Texas. Those are kind of some old 1950s movies that are fun.
Yeah.
And, so kind of had done a lot of things before this. And we continue to do things all the way until the 2000s. So I was very active. Next up is Harry Rhodes, who plays McDonald. And Harry Rhodes has been in a couple other things. We will actually see him again. He was in the TV movie Judgment Day, which is about, as you would figure, Judgment Day. So
didn't catch that.
watching some TV movies from the 70s. There you go, or 80s. Sorry, rather 1981, which is basically 1970 still.
Basically.
Mostly a TV actor. Was in Streets of San Francisco for 7 episodes, a bunch of 70s TV movies, as well as a bunch of 60s TV movies, and some TV shows there as well. So kind of mostly a TV actor, which will make sense when we get to the budget, because this movie was known for being on the cheaper side. But probably the biggest thing that Harry Rhodes was in was twofold. He was eventually in Shock Corridor, which is a fun little movie, as well as Coma, where he plays a doctor. So some fun stuff there.
Yeah.
Good stuff there. Next up is Stephen Darden, Servan Darden. That's his name, not Stephen. He would die in 1995. He is a fantastic little actor. He's going to appear in a bunch of things. 125 credits. He's going to show up again in Battle for the Planet of the Apes, so we will get to see him again.
Oh, nice.
But the credit I think you'll probably most know him for is he was one of the doctors in Real Genius.
Oh. I bet I know. He
was also in Van Helsing and Saturday the 14th, which is a fucking hilarious movie.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Saturday the 14th. So the most thing I remember from Saturday the 14th is when Van Helsing goes to the house to like exercise and figure out what's going on, and he's downstairs talking to the husband, and the woman comes downstairs and she sees Van Helsing, dressed like a stereotypical, Dracula clone, and she runs back upstairs screaming, and he just goes, "Oh, this must be your charming wife." It's my favorite part of the whole movie. Saturday the 14th is a very funny movie. I love it.
I haven't watched it in so long, though.
Yeah, right. It's been a while.
To rewatch it.
Similarly, predominantly a TV actor, was in a bunch of TV movies, so you've probably seen him in a lot of things, especially us 90s kids that grew up watching 70s and 80s reruns of things, because he would be in quite a few things as well, especially TV movies and TV shows all throughout the 70s. He would die in 95, unfortunately, so would not live too much longer with us. For us 90s kids.
Yeah.
Next up is Lou Wagner, who would actually show up in the first Planet of the Apes movies as well. He played a different character there than he does here, so that's his kind of obvious connection there. Yeah. Beyond that, Lou Wagner would also be in Airport, so that was his other kind of big thing that he would be known for. He plays the bus boy here, which is the 5th most credited person in the movie. So that tells you kind of where we are.
Yeah.
He actually continued working up until, I think he might still be working. It says his most recent credit is as recent as 2023, where he was in 5 episodes of Mansion of Mystery, amongst 3 other credits: Captain Isotope and the Enemy of Space, and Deadly Draw.
Okay, those sound interesting.
There you go. Lou Wagner, still working, making that money. And the last one is John Randolph, who plays the chairman. And John Randolph has been in a ton of things, going all the way back to he's been in 184 credits. Things such as Heaven Can Wait, Serpico.
Ooh,
You Got Mail.
Yeah.
He was the original Frank Costanza in the episode of Seinfeld before they completely recast Frank Costanza, because he did not really vibe well with the crew, and they wanted to take that character in a different way after John Randolph. But John Randolph did show up in one episode of Seinfeld as Frank Costanza.
And then we went with Jerry
he was the
Stiller.
original. Yeah, he was the original one in 1993. Yeah, way back when. He was also in Married with Children. Lots of TV shows as well. Superman, the 50th anniversary, he was in the TV movie of that. Who's the Boss, he was in a couple episodes of.
Awesome.
Also in this TV episode called The Paper Chase, which had has other members of this cast were in that same TV show as well. And that was a connection I just made right now as I'm looking through this cast. I'm like, yeah, he was in The Paper Chase. That was one I saw other people were in. He was also in the King Kong 76, as well as Earthquake, where he played the Major. So some stuff where we might see him once again. All right, that's the cast. That's it. And that's the director and the writer. Like I said, this one is, now that we've kind of getting to the last two, we kind of see a noticeable drop necessarily in quality. I would say these movies are bad. Like, this is my favorite of all the 8 movies, is the 4th one here, which I think is weird, maybe weird to some people. But it's my favorite.
No, it's...
This one's my favorite. I don't know why. I've just always liked this one a little bit more than the other ones. Number 3 is just barely under this one. And then it's the second. Then it's the first one, and then, the second one, and, definitely.
And I've never finished the 5th one, so...
Well, we're going to.
We're gonna... I'm going to have to figure out what
all
I
of them compared to Time of the Apes, they're all masterpieces.
I was about to say, now it should be easy. Now it should be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Speaking of masterpieces, this had the lowest budget of any of the 8 movies. Of all 5 of them, this had the lowest budget. Budget of $1.7 million, and it would, like all the 8 movies, open at number 1, making $9 million. It would actually top the entire month of June, the month it came out, making the most money of any movie that month. Sitting firmly above that chart, which, like we said, this is a month that we have already visited with Beware of the Blob, and a year that we will have already visited as well. A few times now. 1972. It's apparently a good year for us.
If I could pick a year that I could, go back to and 72. Be a part of, I would say 72.
72, baby. Woo! Getting freaky in 72. Speaking of getting freaky in 72, this movie was filmed in L.A., similar to the third one here. Moving away from filming in, pretending to be filming in New York. This one is set in L.A., just like the third one was as well.
Yeah.
And this is the most graphic of all the Apes movies. In fact, this is the only one to not be rated G of all the Apes movies. This one was rated PG.
This one's pretty violent.
It has a lot of more violence than the other ones do, yeah. And they actually had to edit some of that out. And in the recent Blu-ray releases, they've actually added some of those scenes back in. So they've taken some of the scenes that were edited out and just put them back into the movie now in the more recent versions. So it's a little bit more violent than it was upon release when it first came out, but it was still a very violent movie compared to the other ones. Yes, like we just talked about, the third one is mostly talking.
Yeah.
Like, the second one has a lot of action scenes. The first one has a lot of talking until the very end, and the third one follows that same formula where it's predominantly talking. This one goes a different direction. So, to do a promotion for this movie, Fox would actually host a Miss Beautiful Ape contest, which featured women in bikinis with ape outfits on, like ape heads on.
That's something.
That was their promotion that they conceived for this one. I obviously maybe didn't go down the best, but there you go.
I was going to say that doesn't feel great.
Yeah. This movie was conceived as a kind of like a version of the civil rights movement brought to you through the lens of these apes story that we've kind of been developing here. And that's kind of the theme that they were going for.
Oh.
Except it was set in 1991. So there's an interesting twist there. Some time has passed since where we dropped off in the 1970s last time.
I will say.
And we'll add sprinkle some more little tidbits in as we get into the plot of the movie. But let's get into the Travis trivia, and then we'll jump into the plot. So this movie came out on June 30th, 1972. Some killers here in the chart. Some of these people we actually already talked about because, like I said, we were here 9 days ago whenever we were looking at Beware the Blob.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
that's pretty crazy.
Where we ended with Beware the Blob, this song was number 1. It's now number 4, and that was Candyman by Sammy Davis Jr.
Okay. I like that song a lot, though.
There you go. A song that was rising in the chart when we left off with Beware the Blob in 1972 was The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face by Roberta Flack. It is now number 3 in the chart, which I have that album on vinyl, as the kids like to say, and it's awesome. Roberta Flack is great.
Oh, hell yeah.
The Flaming Lips would also do a version of that later on, which wasn't as great, but hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah, well.
The number 5 song, kind of backtracking here, I skipped over it because of all the songs here, this is the one I dislike of all of them. It's not a bad song, it's just not really my vibe. Yeah. I'm not the biggest, yacht rock fan in the world. I dig on some of it, but this was Sylvia's Mother by Dr. Hook.
Oh, how dare you. I love that song.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
Oh God, this song.
That was number 5 at the time.
This is a song, like, I don't know, me and my parents always reference this. Like, we'll constantly, especially if somebody just happens to say the name Sylvia, we're just going to be like, oh, but Sylvia's mother said.
Well, there you go.
I think that's why, because it leads to a lot of corny bullshit from me. So that's why I like it. That's all it takes.
Number two was another song that was popular at the time. This is a 70s classic, kind of like a pop group leaning towards a little bit of funk influence, but mostly pop.
Oh.
Any guesses? The song is titled "Oh Girl."
Oh,
Excuse
girl.
me.
Let's see, 72?
72. Oh Girl.
I don't know. Oh, girl.
The Chi Lights.
Say that again?
The Chi Lights.
I'm not sure if have I heard of this band?
I believe you have. Look it up. You've probably heard. Maybe I'm pronouncing
I probably
the name
have.
wrong.
It's just one of those I just never learned the name of.
We're going to do it live. I'll probably edit all this out, but we're going to see. Am I mispronouncing the name of this band? How to say Chi Lights. No, not Chi.
How you spelling it?
CHI dash lights. LITES.
I mean, that makes sense.
Is it the Chilits?
It's got to be.
Chilites. Okay.
Surely I've heard.
Yeah, the Chilites.
Maybe is this one of those bands I just never learned the name of?
Maybe.
I know their songs. See, yeah.
Oh, you definitely know the song.
Okay, it must be because there's a bunch of bands that I just like. I've heard the songs, and then I just never happened. I don't know. I just never figured it out. Never looked it up. Never.
Yeah.
It's just like take it for granted. Like, yeah, that's that song.
Number one might be another one of those bands that you never looked up. Number one is a classic 70s kind of early funk jam.
Oh.
Been used in tons of movies. Band is the Staple Singers. Any guesses as to what was one of their big hits?
Oh, God, I don't.
I'll
know
take
who
you
they
there.
are. Okay, there we go.
I'll take you there. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what was in the chart.
I know.
72.
Okay.
So that's the world that we were in when Conquest of the Planet of the Apes sprung forth.
Man, it's a good. This is a good time in the world.
Yeah,
good tunes.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Good movie coming out. Would have been able to watch. If we would have been able to watch in this month in 72, we would have been able to watch Beware the Blob and then later watch this movie. That would have been pretty cool. All the while listening to music like this.
And honestly, like when we watched Beware the Blob, I thought that budget was cheap, and that movie was cheap. It was a hippie, for those of you that have never seen it, it's a horrible hippie catastrophe movie that budget was like $700,000, maybe $1 million even. This movie's budget was about the same. So times are tough in 72. Apparently, every movie was like you're working with $1 million. Figure it out, fucker. Speaking of figuring it out, we're gonna take a break and come back and talk about the plot of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Awesome.
Welcome back to the show. Let's get into the plot of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. This one starts very differently than the other three do. Like the other three all start like with some kind of landing of an astronaut of some sort.
Oh yeah.
And in this one we get like this very ominous music and these very, very long takes, which are very slow, and I love them. It's very 70s, very, very Brian De Palma. I'm a big fan of if you can do like one long extended take, I love that.
Oh yeah.
Especially if there's a lot of moving. Like, I've shown you the opening to Snake Eyes that De Palma did. That is the most impressive thing of that entire movie. Like, that movie is not very good. But that, like, first, 18 minutes of Snake Eyes is really fucking good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I really liked it. Whenever you showed that to me. And I liked that that's all we watched of it.
Yeah, that's all you need to see. The rest of it's kind of downhill. It's not Nicolas Cage's strongest work.
And one thing I will say... I believe it was this one. Yeah, where Ricardo Montalban just gives us. Basically, it's like that scene in you remember Spaceballs where they're giving the whole like spiel of things, and then Rick Moranis looks at the camera and he's like, "You got all that?"
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I was about to say,
That's what
I noted
it
that.
felt like.
I noted that. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay, that was very glaring. It was like, okay.
So the year is 1991, and Ricardo Montalban is here, and he is explaining everything that basically happened in the first 3 movies. In case you missed anything,
so
he's
funny.
going to give it to you all. And it's very,
what are you...
very ham-fisted writing. It's very much like a producer was like, but what if someone in the audience hasn't seen the first 3? They're not going to know what's going on. All right, so we need someone to literally explain every major plot point, just in case you don't get it.
Clunky as shit.
Yeah,
it's like,
and he does it
we're
several
just
different
putting
times.
the brakes on.
Yeah, because like basically they're walking around, him and Caesar, and as they're walking around the city, this is after the beginning, which is very like this ominous kind of foreshadowing of what's going to happen in the future. Basically at the exact same location that the end of the movie happens at. Mm-hmm. Ricardo Montalban and Caesar are walking around, and he's just basically like at different intervals explaining.
They're looking for a talking ape. It was after the 2 talking apes named Cornelius, and and he's just like explaining it like have y'all never talked about this?
Yeah. So after that exposition dump, we get a glimpse of how racist this society is.
Oh.
And like all of the Planet of the Apes movies are like allegories. This one lays it on real thick.
Yeah, I was going to say...
You can really tell what they were going for. They were like, okay, I completely understand. Like
Yep.
Yes, even a child could understand what you were going for.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it is... And honestly, I think they handle it well.
Yeah. So they do give us some important context, Ricardo does, as he explains the context of this movie, which is that all dogs and cats are dead because of a virus that was...
All dogs went to heaven.
Yeah. An astronaut showed back up, and he had some kind of space virus that spread to dogs and cats. Apes were immune, and so this led to them becoming the new dominant pet. See, this is why I wouldn't have worked in this society, because I would have gone with an alpaca.
Oh, hell yeah.
Give me an alpaca as a pet. That's a good pet.
I'd go Salvador Dali. I'd go Anteater. How's that for a reference?
I like it. I think that anteaters sometimes contract rabies, so you got a good chance there. There you go. So he's walking around, and Caesar kind of accidentally reveals he can speak as he's witnessing an ape getting beaten.
Yeah, and he says, "What? Something human bastards? Filthy?
Dirty,
dirty."
Something like that, yeah. Ricardo takes the blame for it, and then they have him shout it out.
Inhuman, not human.
Yeah. It kind of becomes like a little plot point that they end up having to be separated. And this is built upon, because like it's very clear that Caesar really has an affinity and love for Ricardo Montalban's character.
Yeah.
Basically his father figure. He's kind of raised him since the last movie.
What was his character's name? Senor
Armando.
Senor Armando. And I like that they keep calling him Senor. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all bad in the future, I guess, or in the past now. Nowadays you wouldn't get that, but
Exactly. So Senor Armando, he gets separated from Caesar because he has to go to a meeting.
Tells Caesar, he's like, you're only going to be safe if you blend in.
Basically, like, you need to get rid of the clothes. You need to pretend you can't speak. Otherwise, like, you're probably going to be killed.
Yeah.
And he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
And this will end up later costing him his life as well, because he's going to go to this meeting, and at this meeting, he's basically going to get held into custody, which is going to effectively separate them permanently, because they will never see each other ever again.
See, this is why you always lawyer up. Am I being detained?
So while this is happening, Caesar is trying to blend in and educate his fellow ape. as he's teaching them little by little.
Yep.
And this becomes important later because I love the scene where they actually have the revolution and they just kind of slowly look at Caesar and Caesar just kind of gives them a look. It's very silly if you're not paying attention to this part, because then you're just like, what is that look? Like, it's just like, it's like a baseball coach. Like, should I steal third? Yes.
Oh, it's so great. Just when anytime they're doing anything, I mean, we're jumping ahead on that, but just that look is so great. And they're just like, it's time to fuck shit up.
So Caesar is going to experience the torture that the apes have been subjected to. Very Guantanamo Bay-esque. You see a lot of that here.
Oh, yeah.
Alligator Alcatraz, which is back in the news again. There you go.
Yeah.
Keeps
It's
popping
long enough
up
since we talked.
Yeah. So we see more ape abuse, and if you didn't get the allegory, don't worry. This movie is going to lay it on thicker and thicker and thicker. And this builds until our auction block scene, going back to that allegory. If you didn't get it, there you go. And Governor Breck, who is our villain in this movie, and probably like the worst villain in the Planet of the Apes series.
Honestly,
I feel like just like how heinous he is. He's just fucking
pretty
mean.
awful.
Yeah, he's just mean, like just a mean and cruel little asshole.
Like really mean to apes, but also not that great to humans. Like.
Yeah, like Zeus in the first one has a philosophical difference, but he's not like an asshole. He's not like trying to kill everything.
Yeah, I think this guy's just, I don't know. He's just driven by something hateful.
You could say that in the second one, the general, was it Orsis? I forget his name.
Oh, I forget his name.
Yeah, the general is kind of the big bad guy in that one, and he's kind of a little power hungry like we see here.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the third one, the villain is kind of humanity. So there you go.
About to say.
And in this one, we get Breck.
Just us.
Just us in general. And in the next one, we're going to see a returning character from this movie show up as our villain. Breck's kind of second in charge here is going to show up as the villain in the next one.
Oh, God, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so Breck now owns Caesar. And while this is happening, Ricardo Montalban is being violently interrogated. And
awful.
Yeah, this eventually leads to him trying to run away, which leads to him falling through the window and dying.
Because they do like a truth beam. I don't know what that thing is.
It's like a truth beam. Well, so they have him sign a document saying that, like, apes can't speak. I've never heard one speak. And then they're going to, like, truth beam him to be like, all right, now we got to see if you're telling the truth or not. And he refuses to stand in this beam, and he tries to leave the room, and they get him back in it, and he tries to leave again. In the process of leaving again, he kind of gets shoved / pushed / falls out of the window and dies. Basically, they Epstein him. His death is listed as a suicide, but that is potentially not what happened.
But that's enough for the governor to be like, it is true.
That is true, yes. The governor now believes that, apes can speak. And this also leads directly to the revolution of the apes, because Caesar takes this death very hard, so to say. And this is where we get the scenes of the apes looking at Caesar as they begin to revolt.
Disrupt, I guess. Yeah.
Disrupt, revolt. This movie's called Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. You could easily give it a lot of different names.
Oh, yeah.
Revolt of the Planet of the Apes, Revolution, Riot of the Planet of the Apes. It's very much that, because basically...
Civil rights struggle of the Planet of the Apes.
So, basically. Yeah. So Breck wants to produce a list of these delinquent apes, the apes that are like problems, and Caesar's name is front and center on that list.
Oh yeah.
And so he calls Dr. Marshall, who was kind of like the person who replaces Ricardo Montalban as like the human figure who empathizes with the apes.
Yes.
Yeah, I love him in this movie. I think he's probably my favorite character. Good. Yeah. He's my favorite character in this movie. I think he's, especially the way he handles everything, because he doesn't necessarily just follow Caesar like lockstep in order. He challenges him at different times, which is kind of fun to see.
Well, yeah, because he's basically a representative of, like, I don't know, it's kind of a more like reasoned way of thinking of for those that have never seen the movie, he's a black man, and so he Caesar
it's discussed. Like Caesar
It
is
is
like, you of anyone should understand what I'm going through. And he does, but then at the end, when it becomes a different kind of revolution than maybe what he, Dr. McDonald, pronouns, was anticipating, he calls Caesar out on that. And Caesar is quick to retort and say, here is where we have the differences between what happened to your people and what have happened to my people. Yeah, the last little bit of the movie is very intense and really, really well. Really well. We're skipping over a bunch of that, so we'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah.
This movie does move very, very fast, though. I think of all the Planet of the Apes movies, this is... I don't know if this is the shortest one. This next one might be the shortest one. But this one definitely has a pace to it. Like,
absolutely.
Once it goes, it's going. Like, things move along very, very quickly. So Caesar has some friends, and they begin to basically, like we said, kind of concoct the revolution.
Yeah, they're bringing in all kinds of weaponry and even things that aren't really weapons. They're just like, is this a thing for this?
Yeah.
Is
They're figuring it out as they go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just bringing in like machetes and shit. Like,
so Caesar is taken by McDonald, and he's wanted to come in for questioning to see if he can actually speak. And he eventually reveals to McDonald that he can speak by saying, this is where they have that conversation about, like, you of anyone should understand what we're going through. And he kind of, Caesar sympathizes with him by saying that, like, you've taken all means of revolution out of our hands other than violence. So this is all we have left.
Yeah.
And I like that they don't get into the violence as a language discussion, but that like a movie like 2001: A Space Odyssey gets into with its metaphors. But like violence is a language. It is. I mean, like if I punched you in the face, that communicates something.
Yeah.
It communicates base feelings in every human being that we all immediately understand. So it's a primitive language. It's a language without nuance or subtlety or romance, but it is a language system. And whenever you are torturing and abusing people and removing all forms of nuance and beauty from their lives, I don't really know what else you expect them to have. And I don't think Caesar is kind of correct in that respect, where he's just like, what do we have left? Like, what more can we do? We can't communicate with you. We can't talk to you. We can't empathize with you. You don't view us as humans or on the same level as you. You're just beating us and treating us like these, like we're pieces of shit. Like what do we got left to do? Right.
Ooh.
I like it. I think that it opens up an interesting conversation, and I think that the movie definitely gets into that. This is why this is my favorite of the Planet of the Apes movies.
I was going to say, I totally get it.
It's because at the end you get conversations like this that you don't get in maybe any of the other ones other than the first one.
Yeah.
Like the second one doesn't really offer any kind of interesting conversations. It just kind of doubles down on the first one. The third one is kind of more like a 70s sitcom come to life.
Yeah.
In its own tonal shift. And then this one is like a hard tonal shift from the last one, where we do not get Caesar about town enjoying the 70s. Like, there's no bell bottoms and happy times. No, this is this is a very different world that we get.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the influence of like how long Vietnam had been going on at this point has to have kind of started to show up in some of these writings, because this is like very like coming right after the civil rights protests, right after the Vietnam protests and things like that. And you see a lot of that, especially at the end of the movie, because Caesar is kidnapped and he is tortured into speaking, and immediately after speaking, he just asks for pity, for mercy, which is a very kind of emotionally resonating scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is.
And the Governor Brack offers him none.
Nothing. Oh, he's awful.
Yeah, he basically does this just to prove he can speak, and then he's like, okay, we did it. Let's kill him and go back to work.
Yeah. And this is where McDonald just goes, like, you can't really tell what he's doing, like he's just mad about it or something, but then...
he's livid, basically.
Yeah, but then he goes and he's actually, like, turning the breaker off specifically for that thing.
Yes, he knows what's going to happen next. He's like, yeah, they're going to kill him, so I'm going to go turn the breaker off. Because basically he's like, well, we'll kill him. And then the helpers are like, okay, well, yeah, we'll do it here in a little bit. He's like, well, he's already hooked up. Just do it now. And they're like, oh.
Yeah.
All right, well, shit, okay. And so they flip the switch, and he's like, oh, yeah, he's dead. He's over with. But he's actually not dead, We need our Christ figure to rise again, obviously. So we get the little fake out that Caesar is not actually dead, and now we get the full scale revolt of the Planet of the Apes. As Breck in his little headquarters that he's stationed in now, with McDonald is in there too. He says that the only way they're going to proceed forward is shoot to kill.
Yep.
So we get our full scale riot, and it is a bloody affair, the most bloody and violent of all the Planet of the Apes movies.
Mm-hmm.
Full on just riot scenes. It's very it's very noticeable with the allegory, like we said. It wants you to know, like, this is kind of a political movie. Yes. And I like that about it.
Oh, absolutely.
So as the apes breach the governor's door, we get the governor giving his little final speech where he's like, if we lose this battle, it's the end of the world as we know it. It'll be a planet of the apes. There you go. There's the word.
He said it.
And this leads directly to Caesar's confrontation with the governor.
Yes.
Where he asks him a lot of questions, and we get more of like these kind of tense conversations between the two of them. Mm-hmm. Which leads to him the governor being dragged off out in front of the city for everyone to see.
Oh yeah, and this is where McDonald gets to have his say.
Yeah, he says is this what is this what you wanted? Is this you wanted to stop violence, and all you're doing is meeting that violence with more violence, more violence, and what is this going to turn into? He's basically argument is that by tomorrow, every human in the world is going to be after you. And Caesar's argument is by tonight, every ape in the world is going to see what we did, and they're never going to be the same again. Right. I think both of those are pretty valid arguments, and I like that he kind of presents both of them at the end and being like, here are the two sides of the argument. Here's how we're ending this kind of what you could argue is a silly sci-fi movie, but it's it does kind of get into some interesting arc points.
Oh, this one hits hard. And
why is this movie so fucking relevant to 2025?
Oh my god! I mean, people need to be watching shit like this seriously. Pay attention.
The final speech between them is very intense, and Roddy McDowell gives you his best. I keep doing that. His best Shakespearean performance here. He really lays it on thick.
Oh, he does it. Oh, and it is awesome.
Yeah, it is
because that's the part where that's when Lisa, the ape, says no.
Yes,
she's the first other ape to talk.
Yeah, Lisa has been this helper assistant ape. We didn't really bring her up the entire time. She has been kind of watching very awkwardly. They have they make eyes at each other occasionally, but up until the end, they never really they're it's implied that they have some kind of unspoken relationship.
Yeah, but it's not really at all explored. Which
because I mean it's completely mute, so it's and they're hardly ever even in the same scene together. Except for when you get to the last kind of end of the movie.
Yeah, and they're surrounded by other humans, and they just kind of give each other glances. So,
Exactly.
So, yeah, and then right there at the end, whenever they're all about to just start wailing on the governor, she shouts no, and then that's when Caesar, when we get this really cool speech about this is where we show mercy. This is where we differentiate. This is,
Yeah.
And, oh, God, what does he say? If it's man's destiny, so be it, or something God.
Yeah. It's a good speech. It's a very, very well-written speech. Yeah.
Honestly.
That ends Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. What I think is my favorite of the Planet of the Apes movies. I'll say my piece second because I got, it's one of my favorites. Sure but go ahead, final thoughts, and then any takeaways that we can apply to our own little wasteland that we find ourselves in today.
I would say, well, my final thoughts on this is that, like you said, this is a very tonal shift from kind of what we've been experiencing. It's a lot less fish out of water with this one, and I mean it kind of is, but we're pulled very quickly away from that, and so that dynamic doesn't really fit anymore. It's really him finding his place among this society, and then just really, railing against it. And then as a movie, as a like civil rights adjacent movie, is so good. It tells the story so well, and while laying it on really thick, so that's awesome. And I would say a takeaway from this, I just don't think we should be what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to domesticate chimpanzees and things that can like rip our faces off, and have been known to, So
I love this movie. As I've mentioned on the show before, I am a huge fan of genre movies, sci-fi, horror, whatnot, intermixing into the realm of political theater, agitprop, art movies, like whatever have you. I love it. I always think it's so much fun. And this is one of those classic examples of a movie that is definitely giving you a silly Planet of the Apes movie, but also making a very political statement, and doing it in a very unnuanced way here. But still very, very much appreciated. There's a lot of parts of this movie that I really like. The ending speeches, the last like 3 speeches, are all really well done with Caesar and McDonald, and Caesar by himself, his monologue, and then Caesar and Governor Breck. That the ending, the last like 40 minutes of this movie, I think is just fucking amazing. The intro was a little rough with all of the exposition dump, but I get why you do it. Okay, maybe we could have handled that a little differently, but whatever. But the ending is so strong that it makes it like, it kind of makes me forgive some of the shortcomings at the beginning. Once I get to the end there, I kind of have forgotten about some of that. So takeaways, hey, be wary of astronauts who want to hang out with your cats and dogs, and maybe, just maybe, we should keep some vaccines around just in case. Hey, maybe we do something like that.
Maybe.
We will see you guys next time as we wrap up our Planet of the Apes series, as we talk about Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Next time. See you then.
Take it easy.
Hot damn, college boy. Thank you so much for listening. Every single week we come back with a new movie about the end of the world, or a movie about the beginning of the end of the world, or what happens after the end of the world, or maybe one day we just decide to watch Showgirls. Who knows? Right? But every week we are coming back, and thank you so much for stopping in this week and listening to the whole episode and hearing our thoughts on whatever train wreck of a movie I chose to force my friend to watch this week. I'm a good person like that. And thank you for also being a good person. There you go. If you want to be a really, really fucking cool person, which you obviously are, why don't you give us a like, and actually, more importantly, give us a subscribe. I find that to be more important. I don't know if the algorithm says it is. I don't really give a shit. But thank you for your patronage either way, and clicking all the things and doing all the stuff. Bye. Thanks.